Welcome. It is Saturday, April the 12th, 2025. Today I'll be headed over to Chappell, Texas. It's the birthplace of my grandmother on my mom's side. And also, they have a Bluebonnet festival every year. I think this year's the 61st. They also have a museum that I want to go to. I hope it's open. I've been there before, but it's been a long time. And also, they have a restaurant called Chappell Barbecue and Bakery that I'm going to have breakfast at. So I need to swing by, go pick up my brother, and head to Chappell, Texas. So join me if you will. Got my Dunkin', my hot coffee. Will you? All right, made it to the Chappell Bakery, Deli, Barbecue, Smokehouse. Breakfast here. Some pies. So they got a bakery over here. A lot of sweet goodness. Sausage kolaches. Carrot cakes, cinnamon rolls, fruit kolaches. Some kolaches to go. Coffee, house blend, decaf blend. Try the Southern Pecan. Alright, this is what we're dealing with. They got homemade pies. Good thing we came when we did, because it is getting really busy. The line is way back over here. Pretty cool place. I liked it. Good food. Now on to the Bluebonnet Festival.
Oh, I like that one.
Like those palm trees over there. You need that for your house.
Watch this. It takes the corn off the top. I already took it all off except that piece. Watch.
Give it a rub on the blade, it takes it right off. You grab a whole potato, you lay it on top. If you use your fingers, you're gonna have meat and potatoes, right? You gotta say hello to my little friend. So you grab it with a hat and you rub the potato 5 seconds just like this. So when your potatoes are done in 5 seconds, those French fries are ready to go in your Fry Daddy, homemade fries, okay? If you buy the chopper and you only pay the chopper, $45. Today you're gonna get the big box with all accessories free. You're gonna get a cookbook inside with all my grandma's recipes. And if you don't miss out, my $40 knife is coming free.
Easy street. Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, Stevie Ray Vaughan. They got some corn dogs and lemonade and cheeseburgers. Roasted pecans. Chappell Hill. Stone Creations of Texas. Snoopy. White Rabbit. Shaved Ice, Sharky Snow. Corn in a Cup. Quesadillas. Lemonade. The Traveling Tavern. The No Clue Cookers. Astros, Texans, Cowboys.
What?
They got a petting zoo over here.
We're from New Guinea to El Paso, and from Waco to El Paso, and from Paris to El Paso.
Homemade chili, free samples. They even got a train. A Minnie Mouse. The Bluebonnet house. They got Texas-sized funnel cakes and Chick-fil-A. Oh, this is an old firehouse established 1974. Yeah, I like these old buildings.
I'm not sure what a ghost fighter is.
Wait, this one is on
Like this lady's gonna buy me one.
Some more old buildings here. The Chappell Hill Bank, established in 1907.
The bank started in 1907. Yes.
Yeah. Be an old Texas.
Old rock store, built in 1869. It's pretty cool.
Are these all kids over here?
That sign kind of looks like the Cheers logo. United States Post Office of Chappell Hill, Texas, 77426. Texas Pie Guy, smoked pies.
Do you like one?
Thank you.
Our number 17. Y'all want to try some?
I got a photo op over here. Bluebonnet Festival 2025. They got Woody's kettle corn, root beer. Yeah, I think he'll give me a root beer float. Why not? church right here. Washington County. It was founded in 1842. Foot-long hand-dipped corn dogs.
Hey, buddy.
Lemonade. Here we go.
We're about to.
Chappell Hill Historical Society Museum. This is the site of Chappell Hill College, established in 1852 by the Methodist Church as Chappell Hill Male and Female Institute. After Seoul University for Boys was established in 1856, Chappell Hill College was a school for girls, existed until 1912. College bell.
Oh, excuse me. I'm the only docent that went to school here. So I tell lots of stories, and some of them might be true. You never know. What was their name?
It was 1898, though, so that's...
It's all right. My wife's granddad was born 1894.
Okay.
Lester Perry Lester.
She was a Gornoski or Garnoski.
Garnoski, yeah, okay.
Her mother's name was Nowak.
Okay.
There's a bunch.
Gertrude Nowak and I are good friends. Probably. I mean, come on, you know, it was a small
I
town.
know she was Catholic, so the Catholic church across from
Yeah.
go there.
Our old house, it was 2 doors from the Catholic church. And Ms. Nowak is 2 doors the other side of the Catholic church. So, you know, I looked after her.
What's her name again? Do I know what lady?
Gertrude.
Gertrude. Okay.
Rinsky, Gorski, Gornoski. There you are, you know. And prior to 1910. And let's see, Gorsenel walks. There's the Nowaks, you know. Pavlovskis, the Pavlovs. I know a lot of these folks, you know. Yeah, that's that could be. That could be.
Oh, it's an old classroom with all these tables and chairs. Chappell Hill ISD 1928.
(1873) through Galveston. He has a Gornoski.
Yeah.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Gornoski, but Nowski or something.
Yeah.
But they show
Let's see,
you.
where was it? Let's see. I put my glasses back on so I can see it. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. Yeah, right there. And
Now, my grandfather was Czech, my grandmother was Polish, but I don't know if the languages are similar, but they could talk to each other.
there are similarities.
Okay.
That's like I worked with a guy from Portugal and another fellow from Colombia, and they could kind of dope it out a little at a time. You know, they both spoke some English, so you know, but we all went to Rio together.
Oh, wow.
During Carnival.
Chess.
I think I got somebody else coming.
Now-
I think I heard the bell.
Okay.
Either that or I'm hearing things.
Well, that's a good thing.
Must have been something else, you know.
Now, my grandmother's sister married a, I don't know, Zentech or
Yeah.
Zytec.
Zyntec. You heard of Zyntec? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't answer today. I'm in his kids.
I had a coach in my last
And let's see. We had a thing here about 2 years ago,
Okay.
and I was sitting with a lady, and she'd gone to the Catholic school, except for 1 year. When she was in second grade, they were getting all signed up at school, and her dad found out what nun was going to teach her. He pulled her out of school there and brought her over here for that year. She must have been a real. I mean, you know. But every time one of his kids would have her for a teacher, he'd pull them out and move them someplace else. You
Well,
know?
we grew up Methodist from my dad's side, but my grandmother was Catholic.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, well, see, in my family, my grandparents are Irish Protestant and Irish Catholic.
Where's it at?
Had a blacksmith shop here in the 1840s, but he was looking to work on the railroad equipment because he was also a mechanic. And but they ran in 1921, and this is the church today. And yeah, so she would have been probably, unless she was before 1901. This one was built in
her
01.
birth certificate Catholic thing was like 1898 dated.
Well,
But
what
she got
they
a copy of it like in, I can't remember, like in the 20s or 30s. Maybe she needed it for Social Security or something, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they have a grotto behind here where they used to held services when they didn't have the building. You know, I know they did that, but whether or not that was first or came as a something to use when they were building the new church, I don't know. You know, but this church is now 100.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I'll tell you that story, but I think somebody just came in.
Okay.
I keep hearing the bell.
I did too. There's that one. That's
There was a store owner here that used to loan money to people. You know, maybe to buy seed or just, Well, in 1906, there was a young man that owed him money, and he sent him a message saying he need to come talk to him, and start making some kind of payment. Well, the young man went up there. They got into an argument. Now, Mr. Carlisle had a general store, and he was cutting some meat. But he got off on self-defense because Mr. Carlisle had a knife in his hand. Well, he was cutting meat. But see, this kid's family had money.
okay.
Now, why he didn't go, well, the story that I got was that he didn't go to the family for money because they were all fed up with him because he wouldn't pay it back, And, but after that, they decided, we maybe needed a bank here. And the bank was founded by the Shears and the Thornhills and the England family, and Millie Shear was, her dad was one of the founders of the bank, and I can just hear Millie. She went in there one day, and she was 94, 5, 6, somewhere in that neighborhood, and I can hear her, and he started yelling at her, and she left that bank in tears. And that evening, we had a big meeting over there at the KC Hall next to Catholic Church. And I'm standing with her son, and when Ed Smith, the owner of the bank, walked in, and John said, "Where are you going?" She says, "My have a look around. This was our school until 1964. And I'm the only Joseph who went to school here. My wife, where are y'all from?" Oh, okay. Okay. Where are you living in the States now? From Katy? Yeah. Okay. That's good. Yeah, this was our school until 1964.
It's a pretty cool museum. A lot of history.
Early 1900s.
That could be too.
And then she ended up in Bluebonnet, Texas, which is a little bitty town community. I don't know if you remember, they used to have an 8-year-old mayor or something like that.
It's a vague memory. The great cells are dying out.
But the Noahs ended up there, and I never met her. She died the great-grandmother, she died in 1948, so I never met her. My grandmother, they said she was just like my grandma. Well, at the time she was a little old thing, but a couple of my cousins went to a bar and we got that fight. I was bugging this motorcycle, broken ribs and jaws and stuff. Next day, my grandma was on a pistol. Somebody took her away and she was going to shoot. She used to drink Smith's beer. She wouldn't drive my car.
I'm like around here. I mean, you had to do something at Ledge High School. You know.
It's funny. She's buried in Jordan Cemetery in Earl Breathland Sports Cemetery. Her husband died at 63. She's buried on the west side. She's retired to school before she died. So she's a drug brother.
U.S. Postal Service. I want to be a postman.
There's no way to stand. Bring it out.
I mean, that's just a torture chamber, folks. You know. He was the oldest serving judge in America when he passed away at age 96. And this is him in the Army during 1918. Now, this picture I found in the house, and these young men up here in uniform are headed off to World War I. And this is.
Here's for $100.
Across the street from us, our dairy out here across the road, there was one mom, one dad, and 17 kids. They didn't have any electricity, so I guess you had to do something at night, you know. Anyway, y'all look around, and like I said, if I don't know the answer, I'll make one up. Which reminds me of another story. And that'll explain why I say that. I used to help my old Judge Harry up the stairs in the Masonic Lodge here, and we had what I call Elvis Presley stairs. Because as you went up, they kind of went like this, you know. And he was already in his 90s. And we'd go up 2 or 3 steps, and he'd have to stop. And he'd tell me a little bit of a story. And we'd go up 2 or 3 more steps, and he'd have to stop and tell me a little more of a story. We did this every month for years. One time, we did our going up the stairs, got to the top of the stairs. He finished his story. He looked me in the eye and said, and that might be true. But who's going to argue with you when you're 90-something years old? You know?
Easy to get sued. Right there.
Sometimes you can make a script. Like give it to Houston. This is the 26th of May. By order of Major General L. something Marauder.
I got the general on that.
It's a neat little church right here. It says it was organized prior to 1847. Chappell Hill Methodist Church, founded in 1851. So apparently my grandmother's birth certificate came from this church. My grandmother on my mom's side here in Chappell Hill. This is a church my brother wanted to come and see. And check it out. St. Stanislaus Catholic Church. Mission Church, 1889, built in 1894. Destroyed by hurricane in 1900. Rebuilt in 1902. Burned in 1921. Rebuilt in 1924. Like the stained glass windows.
Her mother's maiden name was a Nowak.
Novak?
Nowak.
Nowak?
Okay.
Y'all are out on a pretty
Yeah,
day,
well, we
pretty
went to the
weekend.
festival, and we ate breakfast, and I told them about the church. I do have some kind of like catechism record or something from my grandma from here.
Okay.
Cool.
Is there a phone number or anything?
Yeah, there's a phone
okay.
number you can call.
All right, so on the way home, my brother wanted to stop in Belleville to get some lunch. Home of Super Bowl champ Emmanuel Sanders. All right, just got home from the Bluebonnet Festival. It was a lot of fun, but the traffic leaving the festival was horrible. All right, well, that's going to do it for my video for today. As always, thank you for watching. Be safe, be kind, and stay caffeinated.